The next type of loop is while loop. This is similar to for loop only. Now what happens in while loop is the loop executes as long as the condition is true, and as soon as the condition is false, it comes out of the loop. So here also same thing happens. If condition is true, the statements will be executed. If the condition is false, the statements will not be executed and it will come out of the loop. Okay, so let's see the syntax now. Syntax: initializing while, in round brackets we have the condition, starting curly brackets, closing curly brackets, and in between the curly brackets we have the statements of while. Now here initializing, condition and the loop iteration are all three at three different places. In for they were present at single place, but in while they are present at different places. The initialization in while happens before starting the loop. While condition, the condition is written with the while in the round brackets. In the statement blocks, we write once the loop iteration statement. So one of the statements in the statements block must be for loop iteration. So this is similar to your for loop. Also, one more point we need to notify that if the condition is always true, then the loop will execute infinitely. The loop will go on executing and never stop. So this should not happen. That is why when we are writing the condition, we need to see that at some point it must stop. It must result into a false so that the loop will stop. So this care has to be taken for any kind of loop. Okay, so we will see one example related to while. We will see a similar example. Here we are going to print odd numbers using while. So H1 odd numbers from 1 to 10. Script language is equals to JavaScript, where I equal to 1. This is our initializing statement. Initializing happening before your loop. Okay, and this over here is the condition. Condition is written with while and in round brackets. Curly brackets start, curly brackets close. Inside the curly brackets we have statements of while. Here we have first statement as document.write I. This is used for printing on the web page. Then I is equals to I plus 2. This is your loop iteration. Here value of I is increased by 2 because we are printing odd numbers. So for odd numbers we have to increase the value by 2. We will see the program over here. Executed program. It is printing. Just a minute. This is a different program. We'll just open this one. This is odd numbers from 1 to 10. 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. Okay, so now we are going to just try for even numbers also. We'll try printing even numbers also over here. So instead of starting with 2, let's start with 1. We start with 2. Let's print even numbers from 1 to 20. So here we will have to change the stopping point as 20. Save this and refresh the page. So here we have 2 starting from 2 till 20. These are the odd numbers. Similarly, you can print reverse numbers. You all can print a multiplication table of 3, multiplication table of 5, or accept a number from user and print the multiplication table also. We'll see one more program related to while. We'll see how to print addition of numbers from 1 to 10. So we'll print sum of numbers from 1 to 10. So for printing the sum of numbers from 1, I should be 1. Sum should be initially 0. Initial value of sum should be 0. We need to print it till 10. So we are going to write over here 10. Starting from 1. So this is the starting point. This is our ending point. Over here we don't have to print the numbers. We have to add them. So sum equal to sum plus I. And I equal to I plus 1. Save. So sum of numbers, and also here we have not written the print statement. We have to write document dot write sum is sum. Save, and let's check the output. Sum is 55. So when we add numbers from 1 to 10, we get the result as 55. Over here, we are writing this statement after the loop. After the value of sum is calculated, we are writing it after the loop. If we write it inside the loop, it will print all the values which are in between also. Okay, so let's quickly just see in our how this works. First, I is initialized to 1. Then it checks the condition. 1 is less than equal to 10. It is true. Sum is sum plus I. So value of sum is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. Sum value of sum will be 1 now. I is equals to I plus 1. Then it goes to the condition. 2 is less than equal to 10. Condition is true. Then here it will come. Now new value of sum is 1. Yes, 1 plus 2. So it will become 3. And then it will again increase the value of I, which will be 3. 3 is less than equal to 10. Condition is true. Value of sum is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. So now the value of sum will be 6. I is equals to 4. This will continue up till 10. When I becomes 11, it will stop the looping statements, come out of the while and print document.write. Sum is sum plus value of sum, which is 55. So please note that if you want to print the value at the end, you are going to write after the loop ends. You are not going to write it inside the loop. So this is for addition. Similarly, students, try for multiplication. Try for multiplying numbers from 1 to 10. That is an assignment for you all. You should try that. Okay, so I think while loop is clear for you all. Now coming back to this part, after while loop, the next loop that we have is do while loop. We are not going to do any programs related to do while loop. We will just see the syntax and the difference between while and do while. So another loop which is used in JavaScript is do while loop. The syntax is do, curly bracket start, statement blocks, curly bracket end, while, condition, and the semicolon over here. It is mandatory when we are writing do while. At that time you have to write semicolon over here. In do while also, initializing happens before starting the loop. So this is your syntax for do while loop. Let us see the differences between while and do while. So while is top tested, do while is bottom tested. This is the first difference between while and do while. In while, the condition is written at the top. So that is why it is known as the top tested loop. Do while, the condition is written at the bottom. So it is known as the bottom tested loop. Second difference. While loop executes only when condition is true, whereas do while loop executes at least once irrespective of the condition. So this is a very major difference. In while, as the condition is tested at the bottom top, it will execute only and only when it is true. In do while, it is going to check the condition at the bottom. That is why the first iteration, the first time when it is executing, it does not check the condition, and it is going to execute once even though the condition is going to be false. Okay students, so we are not having any examples related to do while. You just have to know the difference between the two and the syntax. Okay, so this is about the three different loops that we have done: for loop, while loop, and do while loop. Okay, any example can be done using any of the three loops. It just depends on which loop you are more comfortable. You can use any loop for executing the programs. The output is going to be same. Okay,